Good afternoon, traders. Mark here from the day trading room. Time is approaching 12:30 in the afternoon, London time, 14th of September. Want to review yesterday's trades very quickly. Um, let's start off by looking at the cash chart. Now, the cash chart for me, if we look at what you could see yesterday before the open, which was pretty much that late rally, pushed us above that magic 11,000 level, 11,000 cash. That seems to be the pivot at the moment. Encouraged a lot of buyers underneath it, longer time frame players. But anyway, the point of the matter is we closed above it after this good push on Monday. So my hypothesis, actually, before I talk about that, I just want to bring in the 24-hour. Bear with me on my laptop here. So a bit of a mess if that's not what I wanted. That's what I wanted. Okay. So if you can consider that this is what we were looking at yesterday, so not to confuse matters, but the 11,000 on the YM as well as the cash was a pretty key level. Support, 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 broke through, resistance, resistance. So this is the open here. So this is what we're looking at, this sort of area here before the open. So I'm definitely looking at 11,000 YM level, and I'm looking at 11,000 cash, not to confuse things. So my primary hypothesis for the day, which I actually mentioned in the room, a couple of guys in there at the moment, that's better, I can see that, was, well, the best trade, one of the hypotheses, the best trade was any aggressive push lower, I'd look for 11,000 cash as the target for the magnet. That was the idea of the opening play, and that's actually what happened. Great stuff, really. But first, I want to talk about this little scalp trade. Really, it's just purely a tape read, guys, because 11,000 YM, again, no confusion, 11,000 YM was a tough nut overnight for it. There was no gap as such, but as we opened at that level, we probed above it very small, 4 ticks there, and then struggled, and the tape just started to warm up quickly. So a quick scalp short on that, taking that for a little push, quite quick in, quick out within the first minute or so. That really should be that bar there. That was Rich's first minute or so, quick scalp. Anyway, that was purely based on the overnight level, but the primary hypothesis for the day, or the morning trade for me, was to wait for some evidence that we had some down movement, then look for getting a pullback, and then look for the drive with the target 11,000. And it played out beautifully. We pushed down here, a little pullback. Because there's only two candles here, because they're already taken that short, I didn't get in early on this one. I actually let it run a little bit more, so we got these extra few candles just to confirm. Then I waited to see what would happen on this pullback here. Now this pullback here, if we sort of zoom in on it a bit with a drawing pen, it was very shallow. In terms of movement down, it was almost like this was the movement down, so that's the total movement there. We then had a very small pullback over a minute period. We put the wick in, which is a nice little bonus. I like to see that wick. Just see that wick just there. Pushes up, just fails, pushes back down. As soon as I see that, I'm into the trade. This is my hypothesis. This is setting up beautifully. I'm into the trade. My risk is quantified. Everything is lining up nicely. Ticks are weakening off. Volume's okay. We're pushing back down, giving back some of those gains from the rally the prior day. It's all fitting nicely with the hypothesis. The setup's working. There's no reason not to take that trade. So if we look at the Dow Cash here, this is a 1 minute, just a bar chart here. This was pretty much the pullback here. So there's plenty of room in it, plenty of 30 points of meat in that trade, and it was just a great trade. It just set up really nicely for me. I took it. I had no reason to panic over it. There's a scale missing there. Always scaling, no matter how good I feel about it. Probably that's about there, 10. Always scaling, no matter how good I feel about it. Just get that risk off the table, and then let the trade mature, and it turned out to be a very nice trade. 11,000, we actually dipped under to 11,080 something, I believe, or was it 70, 87? So there was a little bit more in it, but my exit was at the 11,000 exactly. So I left 15 on the table or something like that. So the exit was there, but nice little trade. What I can say is it was planned out. It was like if this happens, then we'll do that. So got the push down, great. Ignoring that first scalp, which was literally just based on tape read. Got the push down, great. Got the pull back, everything's still looking okay. Even got the little wick to say, yep, we're looking good here. Push back in. As soon as we started to push back in, taking the trade, I've got my target. obviously scaling, but when you've got a target like that, it helps you and you can hold on to the trade for a longer period. So fantastic stuff, great. Then the market just sort of changed sentiment. Really, it went from being weak to being pretty strong, and this was the bar that the candle that changed the game. Nice push up in tick, still not confirming yet, but they come from a long way. There's room to breathe on it. It just looked nice and strong. The tape was strong. The main thing is about this candle here is that when it was strong, you see a strong candle like that again. Excuse my drawing. The fact that we didn't retest anywhere near the midpoint of that candle, or even at the low period. So if you get that sort of reversal from that, you get a test down, but it doesn't go anywhere near the mid. Even a mid is acceptable. Even the low, look how low the test was. The sellers should, I put in inverted commas, have perceived that as value if they were still in control, because we'd had this drive down here, we'd had a pullback, we'd pushed back up, which is this candle here. If there were sellers who were still in control and still panicking, still looking to get out of the door, if they saw that, you would expect them to at least push it and retest it. Now, the fact that that didn't happen, again, it's all about price action, guys. The fact that that didn't happen indicated to me that there was a lot of strength there. Tape indicated strength, that pattern indicated strength, ticks have started picking up, and around here, I took the long. I took the long position here, and my target was 1,000 ticks. Looking for the 1,000 ticks, obviously scaling out, but that was the ultimate target for me. And in actual fact, it was an absolute monster of a run. Now, I didn't get all of it because I was scaling out as we're pushing up, taking the first scale always, especially at the last high. The ES actually looked a better chart than the YM, so it gave a little bit of confidence. But the fact that the ticks are holding all throughout this, there's no reason to close the position. No reason. Wait for those 1,000 ticks. I say that, but actually, when we got to this 900 and something, I closed the last bit here. But it was a fantastic trade run. It gave like a 60, 70 point run. And actually, I'm just going to look at my executions here on my main computer. Bear with me. 61 points was the final scale for me on that. So, really, great trade. It just worked. It worked beautifully. And I couldn't help myself. The 1,000 ticks, we got it here. It was just above the overnight high as well, and I had to take it short. I just couldn't sit back and leave that one. Waiting for so long, it was just loitering. Then we got the pop, so took the little short. You can't see the down arrow on there, but there's a short there, and obviously taking out 10 and just holding. I lost my bot a little bit on it. I thought it would come back to 11,100, but it did, which it did. But I came out a little bit earlier. I thought at the end of the day, loads of great trades there. It just all fell into place. It all fell into place for me, and I couldn't have asked for more, really. I called it a day then. I called it a day. Actually had a telephone appointment with a trader I was mentoring. So yeah, called it a day then, and I didn't even trade the close. But it all just fell into place. It's preparation. The hypothesis was there, so that was the first trade. The first scalp trade was based on the overnight resistance. The longer sort of 15-minute setup was based on the hypothesis of the drive down to 11k if there's price action weakness. We got that, took it, great, worked out nicely. Then I was just sort of floating around, saying, okay, now I'll let the market show me the next trade. I've got levels to work off, got overnight highs, overnight lows, got 11,000 cash, 11,000 YM, loads of things there. All I need now is the price action to tell me to give me a trade that I can use those as price targets. And this was the price action we got. Good push up, didn't push down, loads of strength there. Took the long, coming out first scale 11,000 key old level, and then just scaling out into the strength as we pushed up. And the 1,000 tick was just literally because we'd come so far at the overnight high. 1,000 tick, nice little bit of exhaustion. Dialed the size down a bit for this, didn't want to give away profits, worked out nicely, scaling a little bit early on that, but hey, no day is going to be perfect, but it wasn't too bad at all. So yeah, please manage your risk, guys. That's what it's all about. Some days it all falls into line like it did yesterday. Some days you're just not in tune, and you've seen my videos when I'm like that. They're not in tune. You take a stop, you walk away, and you come back and you just keep doing the right thing, keep managing the risk, and just keep looking to make great trades. That's what the game's about. So take care, and I shall be back with another video probably later in the week. See you soon.